when I'm eyeing up a new token, I'm looking at a bunch of different things. So I'm actually leveraging somehow. I've got a bit of reputation in the BitTensor ecosystem. So because I've made friends with some big movers in Tau very early on, I'm able to just like, text and have a chat with people. So when I'm eyeing up a new subnet, first of all, I reach out to them. So I check out the owners. So I sort of need to look them in the eye and go, are you trustworthy? And I ask them all sorts of questions. What's your revenue model? Are you going to convert your revenue into alpha? What's your, 5-year plan? I want to walk away from that chat or that Zoom call and thinking, okay, they're not just here for this cycle. They're gearing up for 5 years down the line, etc. So that's that. I need to have a look at their, first of all, is the price, is it within my bands, price bands? Is it also within the emission bands? That's less of a thing for me. Not just the price bands, but is the price action good? GitHub commits. How recent are they? Are they building stuff? So, for example, if you go to, let's just pick a random one. You click the little cat, and it'll show you GitHub, and it'll show you how active they are. So you can see 2 days ago they updated the docs. 3 days ago they were doing all sorts. Yeah, so you can see that this is a pretty active one. Whereas if you go to a dead one like 28, and then you can't even see the GitHub. But you get the point. If I look at a subnet and it's had no development for a while, I'm not interested. So yeah, you can see with subnet 5, it's been a dormant subnet. But the reason why it's picking up right now is, one, the yield is really high in comparison to all the other subnets, and it's just being acquired. So that's part of the reason why it's going up right now. So GitHub commits are pretty telling. What else do I do? I stalk the BitTensor subnet threads. So with any subnet you want, you just go to Discord, you go to BitTensor, and then there's a thread for every subnet. So, and then I very rarely say anything in these, but you can see what's going on. So you can see right now that Voon, who's a big dev in BitTensor, and JJ has basically acquired this, and that's why everyone is like, yeah. So you can, you can just like stalk and figure out who's who, and you can actually chat with the devs. So yeah, if you look at Data Universe, so subnet 13, I know for a fact they are busy as hell. I mean, they've got all sorts of stuff that they're cooking at the moment. Yeah, last week, like they are Macrocosmos. They're like one hell of a team, one hell of a team. Let's go through the questions. Yeah, so long story short, I'm looking at that. And your DD doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be a lengthy process, because you can start phasing into things. If you get a yes for all of these, you can start phasing in whilst you stalk it even more. Sorry, I'm just going to quickly check with Ellie. Okay. The reason being is I just saw Ellie walk in with Koa, who seems to have come home early for some reason. Yeah, anyway, at 3, I'll just quickly go out and ask her. So that's that. What else do I do? Sorry, I have it written down somewhere. I had like a checklist, but I don't really use the checklist anymore because I'm looking at the charts all day long. So that's pretty much it. And then yeah, I would keep it simple. You won't go too far wrong with that. And you've got to be agile. So you've got to be willing to, oh, sorry, um, root proportion. I want to see, how heavy is it? So if it's a newer one, there's a lot of root selling pressure. And then also tau by to sustaining price. That's also a good one. So ultimately, when I'm stalking stuff at the moment, I'm really looking, first of all, actually, that the root proportion, then the price. Yeah, if you really boil it down, it's actually it's that I then get a little list. So we go back to here. Basically, I like looking at all the green ones. So I open up all the charts of all these little green bars. So that's most of them. Then I eye the price, the charts up. And if the charts are nice, let's just pick a random one. 71, what's that? I should know that. It's unknown, that's why I didn't know it. Let's pick another one. That's somewhere down here. So let's 40. Let's look at 40. Chunking. Right. So very quickly, I know, yeah, it's not participating in detail at all. You can see it's only got 1,500 tau in, so you won't be able to buy much. Bugger all emissions. I still don't know how they're calculating this greed and fear index, but I'm ignoring that for the moment. Then I open up the chart, and you can see it's one of those terminally declining sort of death spiral ones. What does this look like 3 weeks ago for the chunking? It doesn't look very active to me. Have a look at this, and normally it will then show you where the Twitter handles are, and then you can check them out over there. But then go to Discord and go to 40, and then get a feel for what's going on at the moment. But yeah, I think that's the simplest way. Also, another thing is that you can try and game the system a little bit by looking at all of the unknown ones. So if we look at, let's get rid of some charts here. So we know there's a lot of people wanting to buy defunct subnets. So 15 has just been bought. That's why I'm accumulating some 15. 28 is dead. 39 is dead. 47 is up for sale right now. Mog is selling it. So that's interesting. And then there's a bunch of unknowns over here. So what you could do as a lottery ticket is get a little position, maybe in some of these unregistered ones or dead ones, so that when someone like JJ or a team does announce it, you get a nice little uptick. So I think that's some people I think are cottoning on to that at the moment. And also from a price perspective, if it's really low, like in the 0, 0 sort of area, like here, this is 0, 0, 3, could it go much lower? Yeah, it could. I mean, it could go all the way down here, but it's very rare for a subnet to, go that much lower. So you could, I mean, it's going up on its own, even though it's not doing anything. So you could, realistically, you can make some R multiples in dead projects. So this is what Mog is selling at the moment, and the price has boomed. So yeah, I'm not buying it personally. Yeah, these are dying. And also, like, don't beat yourself up when, like, I think it's very good to avoid subnet tokens that do look like they're just on a terminal death here. But then a lot of the time you see that they just like pop up out of nowhere. Don't beat yourself up, okay? Because you don't know whether that, big spike is going to happen, here, or it could happen down here and have a big spike. So don't beat yourself up. There's nothing wrong getting in once something has been sort of reactivated and then looks like it's woken up a bit. But effectively, yeah, we're effectively day trading subnet.